Happy Monday morning, guys. Welcome to the Academy Answers podcast. Thanks for joining us and thanks for listening in. And this is the podcast where we talk about happiness, success, full potential. The idea that we're all born with something that can lead us to the best life, the life that we desire, the best way to live our lives, not forwarding our best living into the future or hoping for it in the future, but getting to live a life that we feel good about, that is geared towards fulfillment, that is geared toward a higher purpose, that is in alignment with who we really are. And everybody know who they really are. I mean, people like to say they don't know what their purpose, they don't know what their this, but you could take 3 minutes to figure out with somebody who they are. You know, just a couple of deep questions, maybe 6-8 questions deep, and that would be it for them. They would be able to figure out what they love to do. And what most people do, they know it, but they're overthinking it, and because it is not something traditional, familiar, or glamorous, they're not willing to accept it. But God bless the times we're living in now, because now we can see just by out of nowhere that people are doing everything, anything, the simplest of things, and I've been able to use it to create an amazing life for themselves and their loved ones. So we talk about the idea that we all are capable of becoming what we truly want to become, of living the life we truly want to live. And this morning I want to share one common and most overlooked idea why people don't get the quality results they want. And not many people talk about this, but it is a very important issue that's connected to a principle of life. And there's every strategy, there's every tactic, there's every method out there, but life is lived on principles. Principles of do good and good will follow you. Good over evil. Love is the only truth in the universe. You reap what you sow. Those are things that are related to principles of life, not strategies and tactics and methods and different things that works in different times. These are fundamental principles of life that always work. Help enough people get what they want and you will get what you want. The highest feeling of fulfillment is the feeling of serving and giving, and those are timeless principles of life. And one principle I want to talk to you about this morning is what I'll explain through an experience I had growing up. And growing up, we grew up in a farming community, and it was agriculture from the land that was our main means of subsistence. That's how we eat, that's how we live, from the land. So we plant, we cultivate to have food and to have economic well-being, for want of a better word. So there was always stuff growing out in the wild. One of the main crops that would be a staple in our meals, especially our dinner in the nights, was yam. So there was always yam that we get from the soil that we planted, we cultivated. And everybody you see around you would have a plot of land that they cultivate yam on, year in, year out. Different types, that comes in for different seasons. And that was a staple. We always have yam, and we always have sweet potatoes, and of course bananas. Now, there's some yam although everybody have a plot of land that they grow yam on, there are times when the season is not so good, or something is not in season, or that plot of land is so far away and we didn't make it that day to go get yam, or the yam is not ready yet, or for whatever reason, we would have to resort to any other piece of land or any other place on our property where some yam that used to be called wild yam would grow. They would be, we would have to dig that from the ground, and it would be our meal. One afternoon, it rained all day, and in the afternoon, my grandma wanted to prepare dinner, so she went just below the house where there's you know, like would be in the front yard or the backyard, what you'd call in modern society, and found a vine, because the yam have a vine. It's in the ground, but then the vine is over, so you could find it by tracing the vine. And she started to dig for yam, and she was there for more than an hour, and the yam was very difficult and among roots, and she couldn't get it out, and it was breaking up in pieces, and it was bits and pieces all the way till she got frustrated and decided to put together what she already got from the ground to make dinner. Turns out that yam was lousy. She wasn't upset, and nobody had anything to say, because she never expected to get a better quality yam. She didn't deliberately plant it, nurtured it, and take care of it. What came from the earth was just what grew there on its own. There was nothing, nobody put it there, nobody prepared the land a certain way to get the yam so it could easily come from the earth. Because in the normal cultivation of yam, you would dig the earth, you'd create a mold, so when the vines start to grow, it would be going down not through solid earth, it would have been going down through an opening and some mulching that would be there. So when it bears, it would have space, and it would be easier to take from the earth when it matures. And I'm telling you that story because when you did not cultivate it, when you have not cultivated it yourself, and you are just trying to get it from somewhere else, or you're trying to tap into a source that you didn't create to get something, then the results are unpredictable and are usually mediocre and below average and of poor standards. It's the same thing with our minds and our lives. What you will find every day is that people are getting into conversations, which is at a lower level, debates and conversations and all that talk, and also people are running businesses, people are trying to improve their lives, and people are doing many other things from a place and getting the thinking, making decisions, analyzing information, making moves from a place that is not developed. They didn't cultivate their minds, they didn't cultivate the knowledge and the skill base, and they're winging it. They're winging their businesses, they're winging their life, they're winging their finances. So they have either very little in or nothing in and expect to get the best out. So you see it in conversations all the time. People start to debate a topic, people start to talk about a topic, and everybody is spewing a pile load of opinion, and they're not researched, they didn't do any research, they don't have any knowledge base on the topic, and it is all garbage. Because what we do as human beings, and this is the real lesson, we're tapping into our minds, we're tapping into our intuitions, we're tapping into our skills for the best results. We're trying to get forward. We're trying to go ahead. We're trying to push our life to the next level. But we have not put in the work. We have not put in the time. We have not put in the effort. We have not cultivated the foundation upon which we are calling on our minds and our brains to deliver these results. And I say it all the time. We're trying to stand in the same position on the mountain and expect to see a different view of the city. What is the lesson here? I'm telling you that I know you went to school, I know you're bright, I know you have information, I know you master the English language, I know you can do mathematics, I know you can do the job you're doing, but knowledge and information is infinite. The quality of your thinking is dynamic. The quality of the decisions you make is dynamic. Please don't expect to, over whatever period of time that you think you have collected the information, don't expect to believe that you have already collected information and you already have all the experiences you need. So everything you do from here on, you don't need to put any more work in, or you don't need to develop any more skills, or you don't need to feed your mind anymore. That is the recipe for failure. That's a recipe for deteriorating decision making and poor results. If you don't constantly seek to improve your input, then you are likely to start getting poor quality output. I'll say that again in closing. If you don't constantly, actively, and deliberately improve the quality, consistency, and quantity of your input, what you put in your mind, what you put into your skills, what you put into your daily habits and routine, if you don't improve that, then the results by default that you get, whether it's in the decision making, whether it's in the physical output of what you're doing, those by default start to decline and start to become of a poor quality, either naturally poorer or competitively. Meaning they might have been good results last year, but they're no longer good because somebody is running circles around, because they have put in the work and have lifted the game. Thank you guys, always a pleasure. Improve your input. Improve your input if you want to become better at your output and at getting results. Have a great one. Thank you. See you on the next podcast.